Today we talk about a Spanish region, Galicia, which is the farthest, the most western and northern one existing in Spain at all. But just go through the slides and then I will show you about the region of Galicia, some more facts, more impacts. So if you see the full slide of Spain, look on the upper left corner. Here we are. Here is Galicia. It's close to the Atlantic. It's north of Portugal. There is water from the west. There's water from the north. So you can imagine what is the main issue in this region? Humidity. Yeah, it's humidity. The region, as such, Galicia, is split up in 5 subregions. The most important one, the most well-known one, is Rías Baixas in the subregion of Galicia. Northwest of Spain, as to the humidity, it's called Green Spain as well. It's by far the wettest region in Spain. The most famous DOS is Rías Baixas, based on Alvarinho. This is the white wine grape variety, back in 1988. If you look, or if you think on Vinho Verde in Portugal, it's almost the same. Even the blend, quite often Alvarinho, Loureiro, and Carre. This is what we are looking for in this region. The reds from this region are based on native varieties. Mencia, for example, is one of them, but mainly white wine. It's a white wine region. Key facts: 10,000 hectares, roughly 0.8 million hectoliters of yield they are doing on a yearly basis. Altitude from 0 to 300 meters, so I would say quite flat. About 1,300 millimeters of rain, sometimes even more. So fungal diseases is one of the biggest issues here. Therefore, some of the vineyards are planted in pergola achievements. That's it. The most important wine region out of those we mentioned before is for sure Rías Baixas. Extreme continental climate, cold winters, hot summers, very little rain, very windy region. Sandy soils with granite base, so this gives again minerality. 4,000 hectares, roughly, these Rías Baixas. Varieties, I would say Alvarinho is the majority variety. Loureiro Blanca, Treadura, all of these, and the red side as well, but not so really existing. Even this small region of 4,000 hectares is divided into subregions. You can read the names out there, but they are, up to now at least, not so important. In general, about Galicia, the climate, maritime climate dominates, very high rain rates, very close to the Atlantic Sea. In Rías Baixas, mainly granite sites, so it gives this minerality, the freshness, and slate and Valdeorras, and otherwise alluvial soils, so quite healthy soils, and a lot of vegetation is growing on these alluvial sites beside the wine growing as such. We talk about roughly 2,000 hours sunshine in this region for the viticultural purposes. These humid conditions with the sun forces the yields up to 100 hectoliter per hectare. Fungal diseases, as said before, is a real concern there. Therefore, pergola, sometimes trellis when they are on not so wet sites, drier sites, warmer sites, they go for trellis. But 2,000 vines per hectare, and the warmer, drier subregion moving towards organic farming is coming more popular in this region. From history point of view, winemaking since the Romans. In the 14th century, Galicia was one of the major exporters of wine cuttings to everywhere, to France, to Italy, to Austria, everywhere. This was really, really famous. Then there came some economic depression in the 19th century. And in 1986, when Spain joined the EU, a lot of funding pushed the wine industry forward. The grape varieties, I just would like to mention one, Alvarinho. Alvarinho, late ripening, susceptible to rot and mold as well, and this in these wet conditions. So you can think about what work is needed in the vineyard to just overcome this issue. But it's an easy to drink wine, moderate alcohol level, high acidity, citric, bright aromatic, fruity. Sometimes it's compared with Riesling, just to that you get an imagine. So it's the stone fruit, it's the apricot, it's the peach fruit in there, but having a little bit more body compared to the Riesling, especially to the Riesling from the Mosel region. Yeah, and then Godello, Lorero as Trecciatura as typical blending partners to the Albarino. But Albarino is the main thing which you have to remember when we talk about Rías Baixas as a sub-region, and then some regions like Mencia. Wine style, it's all about fruitiness. Fresh and crisp white wines. There are some, just really some, oak fermented and aged serious white wines in terms of Albarino. Quite interesting to see, but nothing compared to the fresh, fruity white wines based on Albarino, which is traditional here. And the fruit-driven wines, and this is typical for this region, always have a touch of herbal flavors in the back, in the finish. Yeah, so this is maybe the differentiator as well to other Rieslings from the world, which get the same fruit style, same look and feel, but maybe this herbal impression at the end is due to the granite soils in this area and the quite continental climate. This makes it specific for this one. But it's a fresh white wine, enjoyed chilled perfectly for all of the people out there looking for a nice, refreshing white wine. The vinification, European Union funding since 1986, they have helped a lot. A lot of money was coming to this region. They are doing experiments with new oak, but mainly they are doing stainless steel and temperature-controlled fermentation just to support the fruitiness. Malolactic fermentation is blocked. They rather go for prolonged skin contact to even get more fruitiness into the wines and to really get the last bit of peace out of it. And the aging on lees to make it a little bit more round, a little bit more creamy on the back palate when the wine is going down. Some specific wine terms for Galicia. There is a lot. You can read it on the slide. I just want to mention the Rías Baixas Albarino. In case this is written on the label, it has to be 100% Albarino inside. So this is a strict rule, 100% Albarino, nothing else. And that's it. Of course, you can read the other ones. For the sparkling, for example, quite limited production, but interesting sparkling wines coming from Rías Baixas. They're bottle fermented, kept at least 9 months on the lees. So quite interesting thing to come up. What's important to know? From tourism point of view, Santiago de Compostela is there. You know this Jacob's route you can follow. It's quite close to Portugal, so a lot of visitors from the Portugal Douro region. It's just a hop over there in this region, or from the Minho region of Portugal going up there. Galicia wine routes tourism. You can Google Galicia wine routes. You will find a lot of advice, a lot of help and support on this one. And especially there is one Rías Baixas wine education kit where you can make a certificate on these wines online, of course, which is quite nicely done and promoting the tourism as well into this region coming there. The leading producers of this region, I would say, just to name a few, as a cooperative, Bodegas Martin Codax, for example, this is one of them. Bodegas Santiago Roma, another one. Mainly knowledgeable because of the red wines, interestingly, they're less than 2% of the production here. Via Romania Degas, quite interesting winery there. And so on and so on. We could name quite a lot of these Rías Baixas producers, quite often quite small, but interesting wines for, again, very good price ratio existing in there. The labels, traditional European labels, on the back side, or on the back label, you see Rías Baixas. They have got their own label as well. Again, there's a numbering scheme behind. There's a guarantee that the grapes are coming from the region, that the wine style is according to what you're expecting. So look on this label, Rias Baixas, on the back as a quality proof for getting the best out of the Rias Baixas Riesling. So, in a nutshell, Rias Baixas, quite nice wine, Verdeo based, fruity, fresh, enjoyable wines, and price-wise, look for it. It's really, really well done. So if you look for an alternative for some Riesling, try Albarino from Rias Baixas. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.